Listen, if you've got a job, you've got some money saved up, you don't know where to put that money. You don't know how to increase that money to be making 10, 20K profit every single month. So you can eventually leave that job, but actually do it in like a safe and reliable way, but pretty quick as well. Then I want to just bring you through my journey and actually how I did it and how I would advise you do it as well. Because I went from working, I worked like 3, 4, 9 to 5 jobs, trying to juggle multiple different businesses to then landing on one that made me money fairly quickly with a pretty simple strategy as well. I need to tell you, it's nothing to do with whether or not you're lazy, because you're likely not lazy. You go to your job, you wake up every day. You're likely ambitious as well. That probably isn't the issue either. So I wouldn't be blaming your circumstances on these different things, these different characteristics that you have. More so, what I've realized in my time seeing beginners scale up and actually quit their job, it was never down to the fact whether they were lazy or whatever. It was about the actions they took and the knowledge that they actually had. It was literally the knowledge. And then from knowledge, of course, you're going to take action because you then know that it's going to work. So I need to give you a little bit of my knowledge to make it easier for you to go out and make some money and be able to quit the job. Now, let me just take you back to when I quit my job and how I was able to do that. And when I say quietly quitting, it was about, I would turn up and I would put the work in. I'm not saying I'm just not saying be lazy when you go to work, but I'm saying don't do anything past the hour. So if you're working a 9 to 5, don't work past 5 p.m. That's what I did. I just focused on putting in the work while I was there, doing what was asked of me so that I can make that money to put into my business. What you don't want to do is work and work and work after your job, after hours, trying to just, feel successful by putting more into your job. That you need to realign and think about what that is actually doing. And you need to shift your priorities into what's more important, which is building your own income outside of your job so that you can eventually leave it. And so that's what I mean by quietly quitting. You don't put a whole bunch of effort into it. You just do the minimal that is required from you and focus on what is truly important on the side so that you can work after hours, etc. And making money to quit your job, you don't even need to make a lot. When it comes to something like e-commerce, you don't need to make a lot. Think about it. You could be making 100K in revenue per month. And with e-commerce, it's usually about 20% profit margins from that if you scaled up your advertising. And that's about 20 grand in profit every month. 100 grand a month is about 3K a day. And trust me, this is realistic numbers when it comes to e-commerce. As long as you learn what the true strategies are and what actually works, which I'm going to help you and fill you in on. If you know that, these numbers are very realistic. One of my students literally scaled to making 100K a month within a few months of starting the store. His first ever brand that he started. So this is totally achievable. And in fact, fairly easy when you know what to do and you don't do the stupid shit that a lot of gurus are saying online to do. So I learned this from my millionaire mentor. And essentially what all you need to do in order to make this work, and is how I did it as well, is you look at what is already working in the market, what is already selling. Now you don't go and sell that exact same thing, but if somebody else is selling that same product, you are likely able to sell that product as well. It might not be to the same audience, but you can probably sell that product because it's already selling and there's an audience that want it. What I essentially did in order to scale up my own store to 200K a month was I found something that was already proven to work, but then I found a different audience to target. So the product itself might work. For example, like a travel pillow, a seat cushion. You might go and target people who are office workers, who are sitting on their chairs all day and they don't know, their bums hurt, their back hurts. They have different problems, different pains to somebody else, like somebody who travels. Completely different issues, but the same product. Somebody who travels all the time and maybe slightly older, which by the way, this is a real brand example. I've seen a brand scale this product specifically. They digitally just saw that product and then probably just did a bit of research and realized there's a lot of Americans who travel from America to the UK or to the Europe area during summer and their bums hurt and they're slightly older, they get back pain, whatever it is. It's just a different situation. And so then they just went all in on that specific angle, on that brand. And so they turned this, red ocean product where everybody was selling it, like everybody was selling this specific product, and turned it into a blue ocean from the audience's perspective, from the avatar and from the angle and the situation that the customer was going through. They needed some sort of product to fix the problem that they were having. And a lot of them, the travelers, a lot of them will just buy the seat pillow anyway. They don't need to be sold on whether or not it's a travel pillow. A lot of them will do that. But there's also a lot of that audience which haven't actually thought of the fact that a travel pillow might help them. And so you're then targeting those people who don't know that this product is out there. And that is a large audience. And if you can capture that audience and build a brand around it, you're likely going to scale up your e-commerce store and be able to quit your job fairly quickly, because you're going after demand that is already there. So if there's a problem there, there's demand. So do your research, find that problem, and it becomes inevitable that you can succeed with it. Now with this, you need to have a brand advantage so that you can be making this money consistently month after month. The only way to do that is if you're not just running a quick get rich quick scheme like a pump and dump. You need to build this into a proper brand. So you can use AI images to make this look like a luxury store. You can literally hide the fact that you are drop shipping. And that's what I like to do, because as soon as a customer notices that you are shipping from China, they won't buy. And for somebody like me, where I actually try to sell high quality products to my customers, it's kind of unfair because I'm getting in the same, I'm getting put in the same spotlight as the people who are running these crazy health claims saying that, you know, this is doctor recommended, take this supplement every single day, which is just fucking nonsense. It's not going to help the customer whatsoever. And these people will go and buy the product and then get a bad rep of drop shipping and these gimmicky products. No, I want to sell a product that's actually good. And then in order to get that consistent revenue month after month, get people coming back and buying more, then and have a good reputation as well, then I want to be selling a product that is going to help someone, and then build a brand around that product by using AI images. You can make it look very luxurious, very premium by using things like AI images for your product page and also AI content for your video ads. Which brings me into my next point. So when you find this product or this gap, how do you actually go about getting the customers? Well, first of all, advertise on Meta. That is always what I recommend to people to do, because TikTok can be inconsistent. And instead of just going around trying to find some TikTok video of the product and just spamming loads of content, maybe from the platforms like Calidata, where they show TikTok videos of people using products, or Spy Tools, where you can download other Facebook ads, things like this. Instead of doing that, craft your ads specifically for your target avatar. So who is it that's going to want to buy your product? You know, are they old? And they're likely going to be old if you're doing some sort of Facebook ad. It's likely, you know, 40 plus. And when you're making your ads, who is going to buy your product? You want to craft your ads around that specific person. So if they're 65 years old, then you're going to make an AI ad around somebody who is 65, you know, somebody who has had experience with this before, so that the customers can resonate with the problem. They can see that, okay, this person has had the same problem as me. And so I probably need to try whatever he's trying because he's just had this crazy transformation. AI is a very good way to do that. And it's great because you know your product works for the people. All you need to do is just sell it. And so AI is a great bridge for that gap, because you don't need to wait for ages to get content creators on board, etc. You just create the content for that person, tell them the problem, let them resonate, get them to buy the product, and their problem's fixed. So do not just go after the sexy waves, the shit that people talk about on YouTube that is like the shiny new niche or the winning products or whatever it is, or thinking that you can do this in a matter of a week, because it's likely not going to happen. Give yourself a couple months in order to get the brand up fairly soon, find the product fairly soon, but then running as many ads as you possibly can, getting that feedback from the ads, and then building something which is profitable and sustainable because people resonate with the product that you're selling. If you're in a position where you want help building a brand like this, and you want to get to that 20K profit a month mark like we've helped our students do, there's a link in the description and it gives a short breakdown of our exact system. And then if it makes sense and you feel like you want me to help you, then you can just book in a call.